Do you have an item with a story to tell? Experience the Mississippi Antique Showcase April 17 and 18 at the CAPS Entrepreneurial Center in Stoneville. For a $100 donation, you can bring one item for an expert appraisal and enjoy food, cocktails, and PBS Passport membership. Attend as an observer for $60 and watch the appraisals live. Choose your time slot today and be part of this special MPB event. Visit mpbonline.org and get your tickets today.
Folks, horticulturalist, Felder Rushing, Java, Chapman, and all the folks here at MPB. We're live streaming. If you want to give us a call, we can't do it today, but we can take, I guess, stuff on the live stream. So anyway, good morning, Java. How are you?
Well, I do want to give a little clarification because we're not taking your calls for,
today
for gardening questions. But we are taking your calls.
This reason you make the big bucks
for our fall, our spring pledge drive. I thought about it this morning as I was driving in. It's the final Friday. It's the finale. So if you've been waiting, you've been putting it off, now is the time. You can call 888-372. I done lost it now.
There you go, man.
888.
You've been doing this all week, John.
I know, and I had it committed to memory. 888-372-4483. 888-372-4483. Or go to mpbonline.org.
Well, we got plenty of stuff to talk about. And even though it's drive time, can't take live calls. But there's so much stuff to talk about. And I got a couple of really fun interviews. One just really high energy coming up in just a few minutes. But the second hour, Java, I managed to snag a gal named Zoe Pearl Rushing, my daughter.
I'm about to say, you know her.
I do. She's a fun gardener. She's got a lot of stuff going on, and I have some pictures of her when she was just a little kid, and when she was a teenager doing creepy stuff with plants and seeing the giant voodoo lilies and all that, and also her in her garden today. So we're going to be talking about my girl. My girl has grown up to be a gardener. But anyway, one of the things I brought this big bouquet. I don't know if you're watching on live stream, you can see this. If you're not watching on live stream, you can go anytime to YouTube, type in Gestalt Gardener or mpbonline.org and go to Gestalt Gardener. And you can see this. Java, this is a bouquet I made. It's a big blue pot, and I got red flowers, I got white flowers, I got blue flowers.
And you have some red mushrooms.
I got, and I've got some. I've got some sticks that are spray painted blue with some little tiny blue bottles on them.
Yeah.
Because this, this is, I can't say it. It's a long word about 250th anniversary. Sesquintus.
The America 250.
There you go. That's how you say it in American. But it's a long word. But 250th anniversary of not the signing of a Declaration of Independence, but they agreed on the final versions of it. I think the signing was like July 2nd or something. But no big deal.
Yeah. But it's the 250th birthday of America and all that stuff.
Yeah. And anyway, I thought some folks might be interested in having putting together a little bouquet. I went to Home Depot, I went to Lowe's, I went to Hobby Lobby, I went to all these places, and there's so much red, white, and blue bling. It's almost cloying. There's so much out there. But a lot of people, really might not be flag wavers. But I've got this little combination put together with some spiky flowers, some round, heavy flowers, some cascading stuff that are all, red, white, and blue. And here's the deal, Java. There's a lot of stuff in garden centers right now that's red, white, and blue, but it's not going to make it all summer. petunias and dianthus. You know, they're pretty right now, but they can make it to July. So what I'm looking for are plants that you could put in a big pot or in a flower bed or whatever that will hold up all summers. You know, I mean, heat, drought, the rain, all that kind of stuff. And I've come up with some pretty interesting ones, but here's one that'll really surprise folks. I'm going to reach over and grab this. This is because red, white, and blue is easy, but it's hard to keep the blue going. So look what I did. Let me see, reach over here.
You know what you do, man. Let's see what you got. What is
Yeah, they're fake.
Wait a minute.
Look,
they did have a kind of a movement, and I was like, "Whoa, what's going on?"
Oh yeah, I mean, I went to a hobby shop and I looked around and I mean, there's some flowers that look real. And, I'm not above it. Some people hang stuff out of holes in their ears or they put on mascara or whatever. I don't do that stuff, but I will put an occasional fake flower in my garden.
Now this is to complete the aesthetic.
My ego is intact.
Yeah.
It ain't about horticulture. It's about red, white, and blue. So anyway, that was a lot of fun. Before we get into much else, I know we could talk about the drive time, but let me show 3 pictures real quick because this is a very, very successful program called No Mow March. And the first picture is a picture of my kids when they were young. My dad had a lawn that I had to mow as a kid, and so what I did was I went out and I spray painted a labyrinth, sort of like a maze. A maze is you go in there, you got to go this way or that way, but a labyrinth, you go in and out, around. It's a relaxing, thousands of years old thing. But I spray painted a labyrinth, and that's my son Ira, who's an Army major right now. That's my little girl Zoe, running around in the lawn where otherwise there was no reason to go out there. So, and when it came time to mow the grass, you just mow it. It's no big deal. But let's show picture number 2. I've got 3 more. This is a lawn in my neighborhood, Java. They've got clover, they've got dandelion, they got henbit, they got wild violets, they got little pink oxalis, but it's nice and flat. It looks kind of like it ain't a meadow. It looks like a lawn. All these flowers are low-growing. They're pretty. They're loaded with pollinators. It's just a beautiful scene. But notice that house in the background is kind of blue?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, this is what it looked like the 1st of March last year. Now, let's show picture number 2 of the same lawn in April a month later.
Totally different.
Yeah, they just mow it.
Yeah.
You can have beautiful little wildflowers loaded with pollinators and bees and little butterflies and all that kind of stuff in February and March, and then mow the grass in May, and it just looks like a lawn.
Now that's pretty cool right there.
Yeah, and here's the deal. It's a real subtle thing. The pollinators don't have much to go on in February, early March. But by the latter part of March right now, we got all this stuff blooming out there, the wild pears and plums and, red buds. There's so much out there blooming. So it's, if we could just keep these wildflowers in the lawn going until then, just to hold the bugs over till stuff happens. So no mow March, really we're talking about no mow February to the first part of March. But once the other stuff starts blooming, you can mow your grass. You can have a nice little meadow lawn that still looks like a lawn. And when you're tired of looking at it, just mow it, and it's perfectly okay. It's okay to have a lawn with wildflowers in the springtime and in the late winter. But anyway, the picture number 4, this is the last one. It's something I came up with. I designed this myself. Little sign. It says flower lawn, pollinator crossing. And a little small sign I designed, and I cut it out, and I just put it on a stick, put it out there. If you put this out in your yard, a little small sign that says, I'm doing this on purpose. This is for the bees. The neighbors will cut you some slack.
They'll leave you alone.
Yeah, it's not virtue signaling. It's marketing. Just let people know I'm not mowing these for a reason.
And I'm glad you put the hummingbirds up there because a lot of people, we forget hummingbirds are pollinators as well.
That's right. So anyway, the whole idea is to just leave, and even if you got a real neatnik in the house and got to mow everything, mow around a little patch. Just leave a little patch here and there. It's sort of like when we shave. We don't grow the whole beard. We got a little patch. So anyway, that's the idea. No Mow March. A lot of people have done it this year, Java. They've been posting on it on the Mississippi Gardening Facebook, and they're just real pleased with it, that it actually works. They just needed somebody to say it's okay. It's okay. Anyway, we got a lot of stuff coming up. Got a very interesting guest coming up real soon, Jason Powell. A lot of you know him, but me and Java, we're gonna take a little bit of a break and come back, and we're gonna ask for your support. this is what we got a tower down in the Delta. We need to get that thing back up again.
Yeah, normally we just come and have a great time and, ask for your support. We do it once in the spring, we do it once in the fall, but now we got a little bit of extra put on top of it because WMAO out in the Greenwood area, out in the Delta is down, and it has a $50,000 price tag to help get it back up. So in the studio with myself and Felder, we got Carrie and Jake to tell us more.
Good morning, everybody, and thank you for listening to MPB Think Radio. I'm Carrie Horn, and we have some exciting news for you right now. That's right. Thanks to a group of members from Meridian, your donation, if you give right now, will be worth double to help give MPB keep it going strong just for you in the coming months. Your gift will be matched dollar for dollar. And now, here's Jake Califer to tell you more about this match.
So across the Delta, MPB connects communities with news, music, and emergency alerts. But today, that connection is broken in some areas. Our WMAO tower is off the air after significant damage. We're working to fix it, but we need your help. These towers are expensive to maintain, and recent funding cuts have left a gap. Be the neighbor who steps in when it matters most. Your donation helps restore service and ensures we're there for Mississippi when it counts. Call 1-888-372-4483 to contribute or go online at mpbonline.org.
Now, you may love MPB Think Radio for news, music, and thought-provoking discussion programs, but did you know that MPB is also known for stellar education? Our education team is amazing, and it's also funded by listeners who support all aspects of MPB's mission each year. Recently, we partnered with the Mississippi Department of Education to pilot a new distance learning program that Jake has a lot to do with that has had excellent results for 229 students. It's called REACH. With their help, and with your support, we will be able to expand these specially built classrooms to serve thousands of Mississippi students. I hope you're proud of what you're building when you lend support to MPB right now.
MPB comes to you week after week, month after month. When you become a sustainer, your support comes to MPB month after month. That's what we call symbiosis, two different entities working together for each other's benefit. As a sustainer, your gift automatically renews, which means you pick an amount to give each month, $5, $10, or even $100 on a credit card. We put that to work each month to bring you and your neighbors radio and television that inform, educates, and inspires. You do that. It takes only a few minutes at 888-372-4483 or become a sustainer online at mpbonline.org.
And remember, when you give right now, we're going to match your donation dollar for dollar. Now, the theme of our March fundraiser is Won't You Be Our Neighbor? Right now, our neighbors in the Delta need your help. Earlier this week, a catastrophic failure of the transmitter located in Greenwood resulted in a complete loss of the radio signal to listeners in that area. So we've set a goal of $50,000 to purchase replacement parts and equipment to rebuild the transmitter and get MPB radio back on the air. Your contribution right now will be doubled and will help us reach that goal. Call 1-888-372-GIVE, which is 888-372-4483 with your contribution, or donate online at mpbonline.org.
We know Felder has a green thumb and does his best to turn your thumbs green too. But have you heard that MPB is giving away Felder Rushing St. Patrick's Day Emerald Green T-shirts as a thank you gift this March? All it takes is a contribution of $5 a month as an MPB sustainer, or just give $60 all at once. It's your choice. But ask about or look for the Felder Rushing shirt when you call or text the word GIVE to this number, 888-372-4483. Again, 888-372-4483. Or see it for yourself and donate at mpbonline.org.
Now, if you've already given right now, we want to say thank you so very much, because it's your donations that help keep MPB Radio, MPB Education, MPB Television on the air. And right now, your donation is being matched dollar for dollar. So we just want to say thank you to everyone who has called. And you can call that number at 888-372-4483, or you can go to mpbonline.org. There's a huge donate button, really easy to find. And thank you right now. Thank you.
Okie dokie, folks. Welcome back, horticulturist Felder Rushing. We got a special guest, but I want to start off with a quote of mine. Java, this is a bizarre little quote. Follow me on this. The world to me is a secret which I desire to divine. Curiosity, earnest research to learn hidden laws of nature, and a gladness akin to rapture among the earliest sensations I can remember. There's a love of the marvelous, a belief in the marvelous, which hurries me out of the common pathway of other men. You know who said that?
Was it you?
Dr. Victor Frankenstein.
Oh.
Curiosity about that. And I've met another fellow curiosity traveler in Alabama. Okay, his name is Jason Power. We got Jason with us?
I believe so.
Good morning.
Hey, Jason.
Good morning.
Let's see if we can get you on this. Look at that hat. Where did you get that hat?
This hat is made in Austin, Texas.
Okay.
And they know what he is, don't they? Felder in Austin, Texas.
Yeah.
This one gives me the broad brim, and then it's got the ventilation up there.
That's
and
right.
I absolutely love it. It works.
You can't buy a hat that looks like that. You got to earn it like that. Anyway, let me give a little introduction, Jason. You and Shelley Power, y'all, you graduated from Auburn. You got your first degree there, but you went over to Texas A&M and got a master's degree. And I guess that's where you met Shelley, because I know your wife's got a degree in horticulture A&M. Is that where you met her?
That's exactly right. And Felder, I knew it from the minute I met her, the most knowledgeable plants person that I have met. And I know you and Greg Grant. How about that?
Yeah, it's a whole, and Carol Reese, we go on and on and on. But one of the things that you started a company over in Alabama called Petals from the Past. And you grow, it's a contemporary stuff. It's a real garden center. So I was raised, by the way, in a nursery, a family nursery, where we had to stop digging plants in the field or come in from the greenhouse to load a bag of peat moss in Miss Smith's trunk, that kind of thing.
Yes.
But you started out growing old garden plants, heirloom plants, and new varieties. But I got to tell you, Petals of the Past is Jemison, Alabama, is just a little south of Birmingham, off of Interstate 60. I'm going to tell you the truth, I got tired of hearing about you. Because it was just Petals from the Past, Jason, Petals from the Past, constantly, because you've been growing these kind of plants nobody else was growing. Grandma's garden plants that work today. And I drove over there to say, okay, I just got to meet this guy, and oh my, wow, you got it all, man.
Well, thank you. I've had a great fortune too, Felder, to meet a buddy of yours, Greg Grant, while I was at Texas A&M, and then I worked with Bill Welch. That was my major professor.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, exactly. And and of course Bill, along with Mike Shoup and all those guys were, and ladies, Pam Purrier, all friends and colleagues of yours. When I was a graduate student, they were the ones that were really focusing on, as you said, our grandmother's garden, and everybody else seemed to be focused on the newest introduction. You think about over the last 30 years, how many new things have come out, different brands. Branding hit our industry really, really hard, and that wasn't happening when you were you and your family were in the nursery business. And I just thought it was very interesting that here we have this group of people interested in our grandmother's garden, and then the complete opposite. So while I was a graduate student, I got to work with Dr. Welch out in Round Top, Texas. You remember the old beautiful little foothills of the hill country out there. And
sure, Madeline Hill's place.
Yes, exactly. And I got to meet Madeline Hill, Gwen Barclay. And so I really got the opportunity to be surrounded by all these wonderful horticulturists, gardeners who were pointing everything toward the survivors. That's important. And my great grandmother had 350 daffodils, but there's only 24 still blooming. Well, those are the ones I want. And so I'm not looking at old fashioned. I'm looking for stuff that fit my garden today and my lifestyle. And what did they plant 40, 50, 100, 200 years ago that's still there? Yeah. Yeah. And don't you think, Felder, too? I mean, it's more important, I think, today with the climate and how much it changes. We need those plants that have been time tested, that have survived. Whereas there's some great new plants that have been introduced, but they've not had the opportunity to be time tested.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, while we're talking, let's put up a picture if we could. Picture number 5. I just want to show when you worked a little bit with Mike Shoup over at the Antique Rose Emporium, didn't you?
Yes,
Okay.
yes. I'm telling you that you get inspired there, don't you, Felder?
Yeah. Is that where you got your inspiration for starting your garden center around an old house with a garden around it and planting stuff, and people see it, they say, I like that, and you say, well, I got it for sale over there.
Exactly. I think the simplest.
It's a old home place.
Exactly. If you know what I've learned is, and of course, my dad was with the Extension Service, and you had great experience with the Extension Service as well. And what I learned was, if you can do a demonstration garden, you can share information, you can show people, and that's what I saw with Antique Rose Emporium, with what Mike was doing there. You could see what this Fortune's Double Yellow Rose, you could see how big it was going to be in a
garden. In a real garden, yeah. And by the way, let me put up picture number 6. I just couldn't stand it because I put something about you on Mississippi Gardening Facebook, and more people remember your old dog Troy than you. And I just want to let you know,
Toby.
I've got Toby. I got my granny's chicken and Toby. They're playing.
Toby.
Yeah. One of the things, you have antique roses, you have fruits and all like that. Incredible education program, particularly with kids. But I started going to your place to find these old heirloom chrysanthemums, like Clara Curtis. I have a picture of Clara Curtis, picture number 7. I think you sell the one called Ryan's Pink. I can't tell them apart. But these are old. Right. These are old, ever blooming mums. They fill a nice niche in October, November. They'll grow in Texas. They grow in Mississippi. They grow in Alabama. They are never fail. But you didn't just stop with that. Let's put up the last picture I've got is picture number 8. I just want to show some of the type of old mums that I've got from your place. Yeah. Just as tough as Clara Curtis that everybody knows about, but this fills a niche. We have daffodils in the spring, but there's not much in the fall. These are the kind of plants you've been rescuing and getting back into production and putting in people's gardens.
Yes, and as you mentioned, that's blooming at a time. Those guys are blooming at a time when there's not that much else out there. And I appreciated the beginning of the program when you were talking about, you guys were talking about all of the pollinators and what we can plant to be of attraction to them. And of course that plant is in the Asteraceae family. So I mean, it's hard to photograph that without a bee right in the middle of one of those flowers. Yeah,
well, it's, I wanted to celebrate what you're doing. There's a lot of mom and pop garden centers out there, and they're struggling. You got a wonderful staff. You have retired teachers working for you, who as you said, they're unstoppable. And you have outreach programs. You also have a lot of fruit plants out there. You've got peaches and pears and muscadines and figs and blackberries and raspberries and blueberries, ornamental persimmon, and whole acres of them. And I took pictures. I show all over the country of how you're supposed to prune those things. You're not just a horticulturist. You're a real gardener too, and you're showing people how to do it. So anyway, I just want to celebrate what you're doing, man. I just want to celebrate.
Well, I appreciate that so much because what we found is thankfully a very wide open, welcoming audience. And what we've learned is if you'll share information, if you share great plants, I mean, people will come to see you. I've been so grateful to see so many fantastic gardeners, as you said, coming from Mississippi that don't mind making the drive to come over and see us. And over the last, this June will be 32 years.
Wow.
It's so encouraging. And like you mentioned, great teachers. You met Beth Roberts here the other day, and she's a perfect example.
We are running out of time, man. It's drive time. But Jason, I love you, man. I give my regards to Shelley and all your staff. Keep it up, man. You're rescuing plants, not from the past, but for the future. I appreciate you. Jason Powell with Petals from the Past in Alabama. We're going to be back with more of the Gestalt Gardener right here.
Hey, this is MPB Think Radio, and thank you so much for listening. I'm Carrie Horn. Today is a great day to sign up as an MPB sustainer, and we're suggesting $10, $15, or $20 a month or more. Right now is a great time to do it also because a group of members from Meridian will match your gift dollar for dollar. That's a chance to get your gift doubled. And now, here's Jake Califer to tell us more.
If you're with us this morning, you know that radio still matters, and this is especially true in rural communities which are all across the state of Mississippi. That's why the loss of our Greenwood Tower signal is so significant. From Sunflower to Sharkey County, listeners are missing vital updates and trusted programming. We're committed to restoring services quickly, but we need your support to do it. With less funding available, every gift makes a difference. Help us keep Mississippi connected. Donate today and be a part of bringing this essential signal back. Call 1-888-372-4483 to contribute or go online at mpbonline.org.
Now, here's why your support is so critical to the future of programs on MPB. It helps keep MPB here on the radio and through digital education services online at mpbonline.org. Your contribution assures that on the Gestalt Gardener, Felder Rushing will be here to walk the path with you to solve vexing problems in your garden with humor and with heart. Now, we rely on you for the majority of our operating costs, so please do your part right now because right now your gift will be doubled.
Many of us are getting used to digital subscriptions for newspapers, magazines, and TV channels. That's okay. You should support outlets that expand your universe. It's good for the mind and soul. The difference is that MPB is asking you to decide what you think is a fair amount to give each month. Many people give $10, $15, or $20 a month to support news, local programs that make you think, and television that serves students statewide. Make the switch to Sustainer by calling or texting the word GIVE to 888-372-4483, or do it online in just 3 minutes at mpbonline.org.
Unlike other public radio stations that serve only one metro area or parts of a state, our network of transmitter sites bring MPB's informative and entertaining program to all Mississippians. However, earlier this week, a catastrophic failure occurred at our Greenwood transmitter, so Mississippians in the Delta can't listen to the radio broadcast. To help cover the cost of replacement parts, we've set a goal of $50,000. Help us, won't you, as we rebuild the Greenwood transmitter. And if you give right now, your gift will be matched dollar for dollar. So please call 1-888-372-GIVE, which is 888-372-4483 with your contribution, or donate online at mpbonline.org.
A sustaining membership of $100 a month will really make a difference as MPB delivers news, information, and culture to communities across the state. $100 a month will help fund television that educates and inspires children and grown-ups, plus radio that makes you think. You hear voices you won't hear anywhere else. Consider being a sustainer at $100 or $200 a month. Please call 888-372-GIVE. That's 888-372-4483. Or make that investment now at mpbonline.org.
Now, this drive is only hours away from being in the history books. Thank you if you've already done your part to help us and get close to our overall goal. So won't you be our neighbor and become a member? Call 888-372-4483 or do your part at mpbonline.org. And thank you so much.
Alrighty, folks, welcome back. Horticulturalist Felder Rushing. I really, really appreciate those of y'all who are calling in to support MPB. It's not just it really is important. This is Java. You know, I've done a lot of stuff in my life. I've hitchhiked to South America. I've lectured on riverboats. Blah 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 blah. But this is the most interesting thing that I do all year.
It's always amazing to me about how how wide-reaching, MPB is. I'm be super honest with you. I was sitting at a Howlin' Mouse just last night, and former Mayor Kane Ditto and his wife were out, and I introduced myself, and they were like, "Oh, we know Java from MPB."
Yeah,
and I'm just like, wait a minute,
Yeah, in a DJ Java. By the way, I got a tune. I don't know if we can play it or not. But all week long we've been talking about the tower being down at the up at the Delta, and I found a tune I wanted so bad to call in on the blend, but I missed it about the 662. Do you can you do that again next week to play the whole tune?
Yeah, we can get that on, man. Actually, we're gonna do a special blend this afternoon to wrap up the drive. And I'll make sure to get it on.
The 662 for the Delta. They may not, luckily, a lot of folks in the Delta watch it on live stream because they can't get it on the radio, I guess.
No, that is true. I mean, you have to think about the people who do give and help maintain, because the biggest source of income that we receive here is listener support. So because of that, our tower may be down, but mpbonline.org, you can tune in.
Yeah.
Through the MPB Public Media app, you can tune in. And now with
over
YouTube,
the tower. That's over satellite.
Yeah, that's over the internet. So the broadcast signal, over the air signal, is down, but our stream is still up. And like I say, that's thanks to people who support. And one more thing, right now, it's a match. We're matching money. So it's $1 for $1 match. If you pledge $5, you're actually pledging $10.
Okay,
you
cool.
pledge $20, you're actually pledging $40.
Cool. Well, just touch a little bit on gardening, because right now gardening is in full stream. People have been, this past week we had a catastrophic freeze. I mean, I left, it was 80 degrees one day. The next day I drove to Atlanta to give a talk to the Georgia Perennial Plant Association, and I drove through snow in Meridian. And then I came back the next day, and it was sunny again. But a lot of stuff, particularly northeast Mississippi, got damaged pretty bad. But anyway, I just want to let folks know that the party girls are still here. I got my azalea flowers. I stole them out front, and they're still here. But I want to show something. I don't know how close that Marissa and them can get on my hand here. I don't know. Can they get really close with that little?
I could see you got what are those, like seeds?
Yeah, I got me some English pea seeds. And 2 days ago I soaked them in some water.
There you go. Move your hand a little bit. There you go.
I just 2 days ago I put them in a cup and I filled them with water, let them sit for an hour, and then I've been rinsing them. 2 days later they've already got little seeds, little roots. Look at there, they're already starting to root. So what I can do this afternoon or tomorrow, I can just take these and poke them in the ground where I want them. Don't have to worry about which are going to come up, how thick and all. But I pre-soaked them just for 2 days, and I already got little roots. So, we can get a head start on summer if you want to, but there's still plenty of stuff you could plant right now that likes cool weather, because, we're still shy of our average last frost. That means half the time it frosts. We've had snow in April before. So I'm encouraging people, plant your tomatoes and your peppers if you want to, but also put you some sugar snap peas out there, maybe some lettuces. Lettuces love cool weather. And late March, April, first part of May is a great time to enjoy the stuff that won't grow in the summertime. So you don't have to just do that traditional row crop. We're going to plant some tomatoes, and that's our garden. Okra and tomatoes and pepper. No, lettuces, English-type peas right now. It's so much easier to do. By the way, mentioning in that red, white, and blue thing. Oh, let me show a picture. Picture of number 9, if we can put that up. One thing I did this past week is I pruned my fig tree. I thinned it out. It had a lot of growth. Everything that grew last year.
Yeah, you took it all the way back.
I did. Well, not all the way back. I followed from the tip back to where each branch started a year ago, and I left a couple of 3 buds of that.
Okay.
I left stubs of last year's growth. And within a week, they're sprouting out. I've already got little figs forming. But by pruning it back, more compact. I have more branches, more compact, more figs that I can actually reach. And a lot of people haven't pruned their roses or figs because they're starting to leaf out. Go ahead and cut them. If you were going to cut them a month ago, you had to cut that stuff off that's got leaves now. If you haven't pruned them, it's not too late by any means. And your plants will be better off. You'll have a better harvest, even roses and stuff. So don't feel, just because they got new growth doesn't mean you can't prune them. And then one last thing I've got, I wanted this red, white, and blue thing. I do have flowers, but I found a gnome. I got a little gnome that's red. He's got his red hat, which, by the way, was a symbol of resistance. I don't know if people knew that. It's real subtle. But no, this is that little symbol of resistance, a little red starts with a PY, I think. Anyway, some kind of hat.
Who are they resisting?
Oh, everybody.
Oh, okay.
Everybody. Gnomes are the ACLU of the 500 years ago. We're gonna. But anyway, he's got a little red coat. A little blue coat, and I just thought it was a nice little addition to put in my little flower arrangement. So I've got also in my flower arrangement, I've got a ceramic little toadstool, little red toadstool with white spots on it. So,
now that's I'm glad you kind of said that, Felder, because it is America 250, and some people, they may not be, for all the reasons, may not be flag wavers.
Yeah, that's it.
But you still can represent the place where you live and stay.
Yeah.
And red, white, and blue, different ways.
I'm gonna set this gnome up here, see if this works. See if this works right in here somewhere.
You can, that pot. Well, now there you go. Yeah, that's about perfect.
Well, it won't stand up.
Well, that pot, because that pot is kind of full, man.
It is. But look at there.
It's sticking there. Look at.
Come on.
Well, while you're doing that, I want to say good morning to our YouTube crew. We have some stalwarts. Every time we open up the YouTube on Friday, good morning to Margie. Good morning to Timothy, Starbama66. And it's funny because they're all celebrating spring. It's the first day of spring is today. Yeah. Actually,
tomorrow, I think.
No. It's today. What? And it's in about 4 minutes.
4 minutes?
At 9:46, because it's all astronomical. At 9:46 a.m. today, Friday, March 20th, the astronomical beginning of spring in the northern hemisphere and autumn season in the southern hemisphere will start. The Earth's orbit, when the northern hemisphere begins to receive more sunlight than darkness, all that kind of stuff. So spring in about 4 minutes.
All righty. And a lot of people are out their gardens. There's a whole lot of stuff going on right now. The azaleas are blooming. The party girls are here, is what I say. And it's about time to start mowing the grass. The wildflowers that you've had, the clover and all like that, it's okay to mow them now because the pollinators have got plenty of other stuff now. We help them through in February, March. But I would encourage people to wait a little bit on fertilizing the lawn. A lot of people fertilize early. Let's let the grass completely green up, during which it's called spring transition by us turf people. When it greens up, it sprouts a whole new root system. It's sort of the new growth jumpstarts a root system, and after it's got roots in there is when you need to fertilize. If you fertilize too early, it'll make it green up, but at the expense of growing roots. So let's wait till you mow the grass 2 or 3 times. Wait till April to fertilize it. But anyway, a lot of other stuff to talk about. I know we're not able to take phone calls right now, but when we come back, we're going to just give some tips of stuff you could be doing or really ought not to be doing right now. I'm horticulturalist Felder Rushing. I am so glad to be here, and I couldn't be here if it weren't for MPB, and they wouldn't put me on the air with y'all without a little bit of support.
Good morning. You're listening to MPB Think Radio. I'm Carrie Horn. We're hoping you can join the MPB radio and TV family today as a monthly sustainer. We want to make sure you're counted in our short March campaign. Won't you be our neighbor? If you can have your gift matched dollar for dollar right now by a group of members from Meridian. And with me today is Jake Califer to tell us more.
Our towers are built to withstand a lot, but not everything. Recent damage has taken one of our key Delta towers off the air, leaving communities without a reliable source of information. From news to emergency alerts, that signal matters. Repairs are costly and funding is limited. That's why your support is so important right now. Won't you be our neighbor? Make a gift today and help us restore the services Mississippi depends on. Call 1-888-372-4483 to contribute, or go online at mpbonline.org.
One of the ways you can support MPB Think Radio is to make your contribution online. When you hit the Donate Now link at mpbonline.org, consider leaving a comment when you pledge. Sally from Jackson did her part and wrote, "I can't live without public radio. I listen to it every single day." And James from Hattiesburg gave because he thinks MPB is a balanced source of information. James and Sally, we can only do this because of people like you. And it only takes a few minutes to do your part. And if you do your part right now, your money will be matched dollar for dollar. So go to mpbonline.org or call 888-372-4483 4483. And if you leave a comment, we may read it on the air.
Becoming a monthly sustainer is a great thing. A great thing for you because it's the easiest way to support what you love. Sustainers make ongoing monthly gifts that automatically renew. It's great because you can have the big impact with a manageable monthly investment. And it's a great thing for all of our listeners because the more people who give monthly, the fewer times we have to come back on air and remind you of the need for support. It only takes a few minutes to make the switch. Call 888-372-4483 or become a sustainer online at mpbonline.org.
Won't You Be Our Neighbor is taking on a whole new meaning this week. The Delta area of Mississippi, specifically near Greenwood, isn't able to listen to MPB radio over the air due to a recent catastrophic failure at our tower site. We're hoping we can raise $50,000 for its repair. So please contribute now, and your money will be matched dollar for dollar at 1-888-372-4483 or go to mpbonline.org.
If your family regularly gives money to nonprofits, church, and charities each year, we're hoping you'll consider a donation of $500 or more right now to MPB Think Radio. $500 can give you, your kids, grandkids, and people from all walks of life a source of news and educational content that puts community ahead of profits. That's chiefly because this is a non-profit service, which you're building with every dollar you give. You're prioritizing local programs and the education of our youth. Think about what a $500 or $1,000 investment will do, especially now that it's matched dollar for dollar. It only takes 3 minutes to make that happen by calling 888-372-4483 or by giving online at mpbonline.org.
Now, MPB comes to you only a few times a year during drive time to ask for your financial support. The other 90% of the time is spent bringing you these programs. The thing is, time is running out for you to be counted in the spring on-air fundraiser here in the final hours of the campaign and being matched dollar for dollar also. So please call or text the word GIVE to 888-372-4483 or take 3 minutes and do your part at mpbonline.org. And thank you so much.
Welcome back, horticulturalist Felder Rushing. And by the way, Java, I got me some sticks and I spray painted them blue for my red, white, and blue thing. You know, this is an oddball thing. The reason we don't have, we have a lot of blue flowers. Not as much, because there's something about blue. But blue doesn't look as blue here in Mississippi because of the angle of the sun. You're talking about astrological stuff earlier. The sun comes through the atmosphere, and the atmosphere filters out certain wavelengths. Here in the South, the sun is more direct overhead, and the reds and yellows tend to predominate. It muddies up certain colors. The blues don't look blue. They look kind of a lavender-looking thing, or kind of a fade. I've taken a flower from Mississippi, taken it to England, taken a picture in both places, and in England it looks bluer because of the angle of the sun. It goes, more of an angle. It filters out the reds and the yellows, and it leaves the blues and the greens.
That's kind of funny. I wonder. Now this is totally off the beaten path, but maybe I've always noticed that. This is totally off the beaten path.
Bring it on. Come on, man. It's Think Radio here.
But I'll just say the shoe company Adidas.
Yeah.
They make a certain shoe. Mm-hmm. But in Europe, I would always notice they would have a more vast array of colors for that shoe. And maybe that may be in a part because it doesn't look to whoever. It doesn't look as good in Mississippi as it does in Europe. And I would be like, man, I want that Europe color shoe. It's a little more funky, Well, and that's kind of funny.
It's just like, I spend a lot of time on airplanes, and they make airplane food where it tastes different at 30,000 feet than does at the ground level because our taste buds change. When you get a really high atmosphere and a low oxygen or that kind of stuff, your taste buds change. So that's the reason airplane food doesn't taste good.
Oh, wow.
Because it's a different flavor up there. Well, they've started seasoning them different, where what tastes good in the airplane doesn't taste good on the ground.
Yeah.
Well, same thing with flowers. A lot of people say, "Oh, these colors are so pretty. You know, Ireland is so green and all." It's not any greener than Mississippi. The sun is playing a trick on it. It's filtering out certain wavelengths. This is Think Radio, and this is sort of like gardening. But anyway, there's a lot of stuff to be doing right now. I am planting peas this weekend. I've got my potatoes are up. I've got nice little mixed lettuces out there, but I'm holding off on the tomatoes and the peppers. People say, well, it's warm. It's warm when we go out there and plant stuff in the ground. Then we go back inside. But those plants are left out there in cold dirt. And their roots are stuck there in the dirt, and they're saying, hey, hang on, what's up? You know, wait, what about us? And then we get rain, and the rain is cool. So it's not just the warm weather that makes us feel like planting. The plants feel good above the ground, but their roots are cold, and when we get a little wet rain, it stunts the plant. So I would challenge somebody to put a plant out, tomato pepper plant, right now, and then come back in 3 weeks and plant another same size, same variety, and the one planted later will outproduce the earlier one just because of stunted roots.
That's a good one.
Crazy stuff. Anyway, some of the other things people are out there doing, they're noticing a lot of damage, winter damage. You know, one of my
we can't get away from the winter damage.
No, you know, and it's funny because Java people always act like it never happened before. It always happens. But I had pruned my boxwood. I have one bush in my yard that I pruned it to a little tight ball just to show folks I know what to do. I can make my shrubs look like the top of your head, Java, just smooth as it can be, okay? But most of it is kind of scraggly like mine. But anyway, I pruned it. Man, we had some warm weather, and it put out a little tiny bit of new growth, and that freeze made that all turn brown. So my shrub has got a haze of brown on it because I pruned and the new growth got frozen. What I'll do this weekend, I'll go back and shear it again. Just shear all that brown off. It'll put out new growth and be just as pretty as it can be. So it's okay to prune stuff. Things like hydrangeas, they bloom on new growth if it came off of last year's growth. Same with figs. Figs and a lot of hydrangeas, if you're going to prune them, cut out the tall stuff and then leave stubs of last year's growth, and they'll put out new growth and still bloom. There's one plant that's blooming right now, Java. It's a classic old southern plant. It's called snowball bush. Yeah,
that's a name.
Yeah, you when you drive home, I guarantee that all over your neighborhood, they're big shrubs, you know, half the side of the house, and they got big round flowers, look like snowballs or baseballs on them. It's an old-fashioned viburnum.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I've seen those.
Yeah, a lot of people. You see them in a lot of old places. The reason we'll see more of them because not many people sell them in garden centers because nobody comes asking for them. And when the garden centers get them, they don't look like much in pots. See, this is another example like we were talking about Jason Powell. People don't plant a lot of these old-fashioned plants because garden centers don't sell them because nobody asks for them. When they get them, they don't look great in pots. But I got a bunch of these little garden mums, and they don't look like much, but I know what they're going to be this fall. So, you know, something about gardening means take the long view. Take the long view. Anyway, I'm horticulturalist Felder Rushing. It's drive time. When we come back, we're going to do something rare, Java. I'm going to talk to my daughter, my grown daughter, Zoe, about her experiences being raised in a garden like ours.
I'm looking forward to it.
It's going to be it's a gamble because she knows some stuff about me and she speaks her mind. So we have to kind of be gentle with her. But anyway, she's also a Power APAC graduate like you are. So jump in. We're going to be right back with more of the Gestalt Gardener next hour here on Mississippi Public Broadcasting. We thank you for joining and supporting us.
Good morning. It's MPB Think Radio, and I'm Carrie Horn. Today we're on the air to ask you to support local coverage on programs that are focused on topics we all care about, plus music in the mornings and evenings. And I have some great news for you right now. There is a match going on that will make your contribution worth double the amount of money, thanks to a group of members from Meridian. And with me today is Jake Kielhofer.
In times of uncertainty, you turn to voices you trust. MPB is a is proud to be one of those voices. But today, part of our reach is down. The WMAO tower in Greenwood has been knocked off the air, affecting a wide stretch of the Delta. We're working to fix it, but we need your help. With funding cuts, listener support is critical. Give today in any amount, and your donation will be doubled, dollar for dollar, and help us continue delivering the news and alerts Mississippi relies on. Call 1-888-372-4483 to contribute or go to online at mpbonline.org.
Work-life balance has become a catchphrase in the last 20 years. Here at MPB Think Radio, we're focused on the news-music balance. So we bring you news in the morning, music from 9 to 11, news throughout the day, and back to music in the evening. We're trying our best to bring you programs that make the most of your generous contributions. If you stepped up to help out when MPB lost federal funding last year, could you help us keep this news and music service going right now? Please do your part by calling us or giving online right now when your dollars will be matched.
We are seeing donations of $5, $10, and $20 a month. If you were wondering how you might be able to make a difference right now, the answer is that the amount is really up to you. There's no set amount to give because your donation will be combined with others to help MPB Think Radio serve your community. Some give $10 a month, and others give 1,000 or more. It's really up to you. We just want to know that you're there and that you care about having a top-shelf public broadcasting service in your life. We are ready to take your call at 888-372-4483 or give online at mpbonline.org.
MPB needs your help to restore vital infrastructure in the Greenwood area of the Delta. In that region, no Think Radio, music radio, or radio reading service is broadcasting over the air due to a catastrophic failure at our tower. We're hoping to raise $50,000 now just for this repair. Please contribute at 888-372-4483 or go to mpbonline.org.
Wilco is one of the bands you're hearing during The Blend, weekday mornings from 9 to 11 on MPB. They're on a world tour that comes to Jackson on April 27th at Thallamar Hall. Wilco, live in concert, 2 sets, 1 intermission, and no opening act. Bask in the glory of this legendary group April 27th. How can you do that? Enter our drawing to win a pair of tickets. In fact, we will pull 4 names to win a pair of tickets to see Jeff Twitty and Wilco. A pledge isn't necessary to enter, but please consider giving what you think is fair when you call or text the word GIVE to this number, 888-372-4483. Again, 888-372-4483. Or donate online at mpbonline.org.
If you're new to MPB Think Radio, we want to say welcome. We've been serving the people of Mississippi and nearby states for years, both on radio and on TV. After a successful pilot, this spring, our award-winning education team will expand our new REACH initiative to serve more students across the state. With the support of legislative funding, the program has served 229 students in 6 school districts, providing certified educators in Algebra 1, Algebra 2, English, Physical Science, and Earth and Space Science. I hope you'll take a few minutes to support all of that at mpbonline.org or 888-372-4483.
MPB is a station that's brought to life each day through the support of our listeners. Our promise is to steward your gift responsibly in a transparent manner. In fact, you can check on your investment in MPB by turning your radio on every day. My question to you is, have you helped during our spring fundraiser yet? Come on, neighbor, we want you to join in as an MPB member.
Hi, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Bobby Rush. As a blues man, I love Mississippi Public Broadcasting. If you support Mississippi music and their local programming, donate now, right now, and become a member today, not tomorrow. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Doesn't matter how big or small, but we prefer big. Thank you very much.
Do you have an item with a story to tell?
Okie dokie, folks, welcome
Experience
back.
the
Java,
Mississippi Antique
you look like me
Showcase,
when I rush in right before the program
at the
starts.
Caps
You must have had to go to the
Entrepreneurial
bathroom
Center
or
in
something.
Yeah, you
For
know,
$100
in between the 2-hour iteration of the Gestalt Gardener, there are a lot of things happening.
Okay, Unc. Okay, Unc.
Yeah, I had so much happening, so that's I'd had to slide in here real quick.
Well, there's a lot of stuff we're going to talk about, but I want to jump right in. We've got somebody who is one of the most special people on earth on the line, and she can be really, really mean to me sometimes. But let me introduce her. And while I'm doing that, if they'll put up picture number 10, me and my pickup truck. This is my daughter Zoe. Zoe, you with us?
I'm with you.
Surprise! How did I get you on this program other than just ask?
Well, when you said you had someone special on the line, at first I was like, uh-oh, I think they called the wrong person.
Well, yeah, you're special. You're special. But anyway, folks, this is Zoe Pearl Rushing, my daughter, and I just it's an opportunity to share something because Gestalt Gardener isn't about how-to. It's about also stuff. But Zoe, and by the way, you're on a break. You work at You work at Just Vanilla, which is it's in Fondren Hall, which is downtown. Dueling Hall.
Yeah,
Dueling Hall.
Downtown Fondren. What do you do there? I mean, it's called Just Vanilla. Are you what do you do?
I am what's referred to as a pastry chef, which is just an all around. I make cookie batters and croissant dough and really fancy stuff that's in French, and I usually just point at it on my list and say, "Chef, how do I make this?" instead of trying to pronounce any of it.
I saw you there one time. You were zesting some oranges. Is that what you call it when you scrape the skin off?
Yeah, and I usually end up zesting half of my fingers
I don't
in the
want to hear
process.
that. No.
So I wear a lot of gloves now.
Okay.
It's not a gloveless job anymore.
No, there's not. Well, listen, Zoe, you were raised in and around gardening from Granny and you knew Granny and her concrete chicken, and Wilma Jean, my mom, your grandmother, digging around the yard. And I think matter of fact, you got a little greenhouse. I think that's where you learn how to smoke in a greenhouse.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I can. I know how to plant seeds with a cigarette and a beer in my hand, thanks to Wilma Jean.
And that's how we remember my mom. But and digging around the yard, I showed a picture earlier of you and Ira running around in a labyrinth I painted. But I've got a picture up right now. Is it okay to show some of these pictures that I sent you?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, this is a picture.
I think so. Except for the blonde mullet one, I was a little embarrassed of that one.
Well, that's embrace it.
You're doing that dad thing, Felder. You're doing that dad thing. You're just embarrassing your child.
No, you can't embarrass
Right. I don't want to
Zoe.
talk about my 5-year-old hair choices.
Yeah, but this is a picture of you, Zoe, and you were maybe 3 or 4. You were standing out in the yard with my mother, your grandmother, Wilma Jean, and she was just wiggling her fingers around the dirt, and you picked up something, an acorn or something, but she just went out and just showed you stuff in the yard. That had to influence you.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, if there was a hole, she told me to put a stick in it and find out what was in there. If it was edible, she told me to pick it up and eat it. I did stop trusting her after she tricked me with the persimmons, though.
Oh, well, that's what we're supposed to do. Just like my granddaughter, Allie, I showed her about worms. I have a picture of holding a worm up, and her mother's gonna be horrified if she ever sees that picture. But one of the things, you went through a lot of different phases. Let's put up picture number 12. This is a picture of you when you were like 7 years old. You went with me to a Daylily Society meeting up in Massachusetts or something, and while I was giving a lecture, this owner said you could have any daylily you wanted. There were like 7,000 daylilies, and I'm thinking, holy cow, some of these sell for like $500.
Right, pick the right one. Pick the right one.
And you came skipping up out to talk. I was there, the other gardener was there, the owner, and he said, well, Zoe, which daylily did you pick out? Do you remember what you told him?
Yeah, I told him I didn't really like any of them.
This guy has 7,000 different daylilies, and you said, "Well, I really didn't see one I liked."
Yeah. I think I ate a couple, and that was about it.
Yeah, I got a bill for those later, by the way. But over the years, we've been riding horseback in Yellowstone. I have a picture of you holding a flamingo outside a helicopter on a glacier in Alaska.
Mm-hmm.
And then I have a picture number 13. If we can put that up, this is with you and the giant corpse flower.
Oh yeah.
We stayed up all night at this greenhouse over in North Carolina. The owner of it had us in there, and we watched this thing open. It's about twice as tall as you are, and it stank.
It was rough.
It was rough. But, but is this what influenced you to be kind of into voodoo and poison plants and stuff, or were you just already that way?
I think once I figured out that was a niche that I really liked, of course, my first thought was, well, it doesn't just have to be poison plants. It can just be unpleasant plants. And so I started collecting my own voodoo lilies.
Well, as a matter of fact, I have a picture number 14. This is one that you grew last year. It's got seeds on it.
That's right.
That's a pretty bizarre looking flower. It's not a plant for prudes.
But I've managed to keep them alive. And honestly, that one didn't smell bad. I was very disappointed. I would put my nose all the way in it, and it just did not smell bad. I was very upset.
You put your nose
so
in
why
that.
am I growing this?
You're going to put your nose in it, and it's going to poke you in the eyes.
You're right.
But what we did a couple of years ago, let's put up picture number 15. Folks who are on live stream can see this. If you're not on live stream, you can you can look at it later. But this is when we were doing a little raised bed for you. This is you and Susan from England laying out this little and putting fence around it because your dogs are rowdy.
Yeah, they'll eat absolutely anything, and if you're trying to grow poison plants, that's not okay.
A tree fell in your backyard, and one of your dogs walked around with a big limb, just dragging a limb around.
Yeah, last night you watched him just eat a piece of stick. So,
well, see, I'm a boomer. When I was a kid, Java, when I was a kid, I just had a stick. That's all I had to play with was a stick. but we've been, Carhenge in Nebraska, whitewater rafting. Old cemetery in Paris, looking for what grave was that we were looking for?
I think it was Jim Morrison.
Yeah, I found it. But also, I took you to a place in southern England that had thousands of gnomes.
Yeah, I forgot about that place. That was creepy.
Yeah, I got some pictures of you pretty creepy, but the lady who owned it, she was pretty creepy too. You couldn't go to this place without putting on one of those red hats.
Yeah, it was weird. It felt very culty.
Well, one of that picture of you when we were first building that little raised bed, we did it like 2 days. Let me show a picture number 16. This is what the garden looks like now. It's not bad. It's a small little garden, but you grow a lot of stuff in it.
I do. I pack it in.
I like that garden. That's kind of. It has some raised beds in there. I see a tire planter.
Yeah,
and then, like you say, it's in a nice little area.
What is it, Zoe?
Yeah.
Maybe 8 feet by 8 feet, something like that.
Yeah. It couldn't be much more than 10. But yeah, it's pretty small.
And then that little glass bulb. I didn't know what that was, but it was one left in the house that we moved in now. And I was like, "What is this?" It was at the top of the electrical poles.
Yeah,
right.
See, we put that out there so that when people bend over the garden, they don't poke their eye out. On that thing. But Zoe, also the gate to your garden came from your great grandmother Pearl. Your name is Zoe Pearl. You have a gate made from your great grandmother. But one of the things you've been interested in doing is growing castor beans and daturas and stuff. And you say you plant some seeds and get like 1,000 that all come up. What do you do with all those things?
I plant them and then I give them to you.
Yeah.
And especially when you go out of town, I try to look for places to just
stick them
put
in your yard.
them.
Well, the last picture I want to show is picture number 17. We're going to have to take a break real quick. Picture number 17. You did a painting of my truck. Look at that, Java. She painted.
Right.
It's got my gnome in it. It's got the bottles.
Zoe, you did that?
I did.
That is excellent.
You know, both of y'all went to Power APAC, you know, the art school and all like that. But Zoe does some fantastic paintings and all. But main thing is, I just want to let folks know that you know, first of all, you're not too bad a gardener. You grow some weird plants, but not too bad. And if it wasn't for the cats and the dogs, you'd have even a better garden.
That's right.
Well, listen, one of the things that you're really interested in the poison plants this summer, Susan and I want to get you to come over to England. I want to take you to the poison garden at Alnwick Castle, which is up near Scotland. It's the most poisonous plants on earth. But they're going to make you keep your hands in your pockets so you don't take any of them.
I was about to say, because I will take stuff, but I want to compare notes because I think I might have more poison plants than them.
Well, we'll see. But anyway, Zoe, I know you got to get back to work. If you tell the folks here at Just Vanilla, appreciate them letting you join us. But I got some plants for you because your greenhouse froze this year.
That's right. That's right. We're going to have to restock.
Because you're not that good a gardener. We'll restock, sweetheart. Anyway, I'll see you when I get off the air.
All right, y'all have fun.
Love you, Zoe. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
That was my daughter, Zoe Pearl. She's raised by gardeners and grandmother gardeners and great-grandmother's gardeners, and now she's a gardener herself, and she loves poisonous plants. So I don't know where this is taking us, but it's a wild ride. Anyway, we're going to take a quick break and come back with more after letting y'all know how you can support MPB during this special Drive Time Week. I'm horticulturalist Felder Rushing. We'll be right back.
Hello, thank you for listening to MPB Think Radio. I'm Angela Crossley-Ferez, Executive Director of the MPB Foundation. And I just have to say, Felder, I'm stuck on the fact that all you had was a stick to play with. So we're going to see if we can't make that up to you somehow. Okay, so here is some excellent news. Your gift in any amount will be worth double to help keep MPB strong. Yes. There's a match going on. So, neighbor, your gift will be matched dollar for dollar from one of our generous members in Meridian, Mississippi. So I'm going to turn it over to Jermaine Flood, one of my good friends, and we cut it up a good bit around here and keep the laughs going.
We do.
So, Jermaine, why don't you tell more about the match?
All right. The match definitely is where you need to be right now because we have that donor from Meridian who has matched you dollar for dollar during this hour. And, of course, during Felder's show, Gestalt Gardener, this is the time to be able to do that. And why it's so important, right now, the Mississippi Delta, it covers a lot of ground, and our towers are there. They're helping us reach it. But when one of those goes down, the impact is definitely immediate. Right now, storm damage has silenced that Greenwood signal out there in the Delta. That means fewer updates, fewer alerts, and less connection for communities we serve. And you can't hear Felder talk about him just having a stick growing up.
That's right. And we feel bad.
That's important, though.
That's right.
That's important because that's something we all resonate with. Repairs for this, though, take resources that we don't always have, and that's why we're asking for your help. Be that neighbor who helps keep MPB strong. Donate today and help us restore this critical service and bring the Gestalt Gardener back to the Mississippi Delta. Call 1-888-372-4483 to contribute or go online at mpbonline.org.
That's right, Jermaine. We intended to spend this week on our general fundraising for MPB, but then we had that transmitter go down.
Yeah.
And our transmitter in the Greenwood region just suffered a really catastrophic failure. I know we keep using that word catastrophic, but when we're off the air in an area, it is catastrophic. And so now we're pivoting and asking our remaining listeners to step up and be a neighbor to contribute to this $50,000 goal to replace this damaged transmitter. So please, y'all, contribute now. Dial 1-888-372-4483 or from mpbonline.org. Notice I said dial because I'm old.
So you
Phone 888-372-4483.
Let me tell you, I mean, if you're from the South, you can mash that as well.
Yes, that's right.
Listen, Angela is a longtime listener, as you can tell. She said dial. But you're a first-time caller sometimes, and that's a phrase you might hear a lot on MPB Think Radio's discussion programs. Longtime listener, or if you've fallen in love with us recently, you're now a first-time caller and a first-time listener. And so we have a special thank you gift just for you. Give $300 right now or become a $25 a month sustainer, and we'll thank you with our MPB Radio Lover Package. I got to start this off, though, Angela, with the Felder Rushing St. Patty's Day t-shirt that you can wear 365 days.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think Felder's going to show a picture of that. I hope so.
He will. He will.
Up.
He will. And he is going to set that out there, too, in the garden, and is going to make a beautiful garden accessory as well. I know Felder. I know exactly what he has a plan for.
He said scarecrow.
Oh. Also, you'll receive a set of the MPB wind chimes that will go perfectly out in the garden as well, let you know when the wind is blowing, an MPB umbrella to get you ready for the rain, and the MPB hand crank emergency radio just in case of a weather emergency. Plus, you'll receive MPB's denim tote bag. 5 gifts, 1 package, $300. We put it to work every day to make you better, whether it's news, music, or discussion programs. Call or text GIVE to 888-372-4483 or donate at mpbonline.org.
The theme of the March Drive Time campaign is Won't You Be Our Neighbor? It's been our campaign for months now. And if you don't support us, if you don't want to, but you don't have to, but 82% of voters support PBS educational programming because they know that it's important to get a running start. If you're in that 82%, I'm asking our neighborhood to step up for MPB as we raise money needed to keep going, especially now that federal funding was cut, Jermaine.
Yeah.
So please take a moment to make a gift in any amount, and we'll be here for you now and into the future.
That's right. And you can become a sustainer neighbor. That's what I'm going to name this one, a sustainer neighbor. It's so easy, and it's a great thing for you because it supports what you love. Sustainers make ongoing monthly gifts that automatically renew. It's great because you have a big impact with a manageable monthly investment, and it's great for all of our listeners because the more people who give monthly, the fewer times we have to come back on the air and remind you of the need for support, even though I enjoy sitting next to Angela. It only takes a few minutes to switch. 888-372-4483 or become a sustainer online at mpbonline.org.
There are shows that are known around the world by podcast listeners. The Moth, This American Life, Radiolab. How did they get to the top of the podcast heap? Because they got their start here on public radio, Jermaine.
That's right.
It's people like us who listened, loved them, and donated to our stations to make sure they'd keep going. Did you know that MPB Think Radio's podcast have topped 1 million downloads?
Ooh,
that is amazing.
Baby! Bang, bang!
You help bring new voices to the conversation, new stories, new storytellers, just by donating to MPB. It's your time to get involved. Give now at mpbonline.org. Call or text the word GIVE to our pledge line, 888-372-4483.
That's right. It's your time. Today is the final day of our spring campaign. And if you decide to give in the waning hours of this fundraiser, you'll be filled with a sense of pride whenever you tune to MPB Think Radio. This is a community-supported service that always puts you and your family first. We're matching you today as well, and you're a part of that community. So please participate on this final day of the campaign. It's an amount that's right for you. Just call or text the word GIVE, 888-372-4483, or do your part at mpbonline.org, and thank you.
All righty, folks, welcome back. Java, two things. First of all, I got a text from Jason Klein.
Oh, Jason Klein.
Is he in North Carolina, right?
Virginia.
Yeah. And he said he recognized Zoe. She's the Texaco gal. She used to work at a Texaco station, and he would stop by and get coffee, but he recognized her.
That's all right.
Here's another thing. Two things happened to me this week that are making me feel old.
I have two of those as well.
Yeah, let's. I'll do one and you do one.
Okay.
I stopped by driving to someplace to give a lecture, and I stopped by and got some coffee at McDonald's, and they said, "Did you want the small or the senior?"
Whoa!
And I'm thinking, okay, my ego is intact. The senior is free.
There you go.
But I asked the guy. I said, Are you profiling me? Do I look old? And he looked at me and gave me that okay boomer whatever. Yeah. that was one of mine. What's one of yours?
Well, one of mine, I was doing one of our programs here, and I got called an OG.
What's an OG?
Like an original gangster, and it was like emphasis on the O.
Old.
So OG, original old guy. I was like, man, I feel that. Because I had 20 years on the people who were calling me that.
Yeah. I called you Unc one time. You said, don't go there. Here's the other thing, though. I finally had to break down. This is my old phone, which I used forever. I love that it fits in my pocket, a little regular mini phone, but I can't type on anymore. So I had to get a big phone with big numbers I can type on.
Well, at least, there you go. That's an upgrade.
Yeah, that's right. But I did it because I can't find the little buttons anymore.
Yeah.
Okay, now what's one of yours?
Well, the other one was just the other day. Somebody here at MPB who shall remain nameless called me their work dad, and I had to eat it because I have 20 years on this person.
I got you, brother. I want to show folks who are on live stream can see this. Here's the T-shirt, the Felder T-shirt that folks who pledge can get this thing. It's got the Muppet Felder holding a clover. Lucky to be a neighbor.
And then on the front, if you flip it around, it has
MPB.
The MPB logo.
Yeah, which is great because the MPB logo is on the front, the Felder's on the back, which is great because you put the Felder on the front. When I put it on, I look fat. Anyway, this is
but that's just in time for all of our How's St. Patty's Day parade, folks.
That's
good,
right.
Nice and green.
Well, I really don't wear a lot of T-shirts, but I'm gonna make a scarecrow of this in my yard.
As Felder would do.
That's right. There's a lot of stuff going on right now. One of the things I wanted to show a picture, if I can, picture number 18. This will surprise a lot of people. A lot of people plant onions, and they don't understand why they don't make onions, because people who grow onions, as they start to enlarge, they pull the dirt back, they sweep the dirt back, so the onion looks like it's sitting on top of the ground. And they don't have much roots, but the roots are in the ground. But this is how you get big onions. If you don't pull the dirt back from them, they stay constricted. It seems like they would just push the dirt.
That's a neat little tip to know.
Yeah, but so if you plant onions, as they start to enlarge, just sweep, brush or sweep it so that it looks like the onion is sitting on top of the ground. And it seems counterintuitive, but that's the way you get big onions. So anyway, just will throw that out. There's a lot of flowers. I've been to garden centers. I went to 7 or 8 different garden centers, some mom and pop places, a couple of chains, big box stores, just see what they've all got going. And there's a lot of cool stuff out there right now, but a lot of it is what I call cool weather stuff, things that will look great for a little while, the dianthus, the petunias, things like that. So what I do is I get a few of those, just give me a little quick color, but I put in regular stuff that's going to take a little while to look pretty. I got perennial salvias, which are spiky and blue. I've got a lot of that white dusty miller, which makes everything look good. But I have a little cascading plant called fanflower, scaevola. Fanflower, it spreads out on the ground as a good filler around other plants. It also cascades out of a pot. And the flowers sort of look like bird's feet, I guess. They sort of spread out like little fans. But it comes in blue and purple and white. It's just a really good durable plant. It really likes hot weather. So if you're looking for stuff that'll hold up, there are some good plants coming along, but the perennial salvias are real trendy. A lot of different kinds. They got spikes of blue flowers. Hummingbirds love them. Hummingbirds love them. If you're thinking about planting zinnias, a lot of people have already got them coming up, and they might freeze. If you'll just dig, you don't even have to dig the dirt. Just sort of scrape the dirt where it's clean and just throw zinnia seeds real light on top. Just throw it on top of the dirt and wet the seeds down. Just wet them down every day or two till they sprout. And when they start sprouting, give them a little bit deeper soaking and then let them go a few days. But zinnias are among the fastest, most dependable cut flower, butterfly flowers, pollinator flowers, good-looking plants, a lot of different kinds. They're traditional. They love heat. They love drought. Only thing they don't really like is a lot of water. They just don't need it. And as a matter of fact, they get powder and mildew, which, by the way, John, a powder and mildew is this white. It grows on leaves. It turns kind of gray-looking. Mm-hmm. I put my grandma on the chicken out there, and she's like a color echo. It's sort of like a little design tip,
Was that, well, you saying that, but that also gives people a way to think about their garden. Like you get that, and it's not just automatic doom and gloom.
No.
Brown is a color too, and and gray is too.
Yeah. Well, there's the two mistakes I see a lot of gardeners making. One is they plant things in rows like farmers. This is because that's what we were raised thinking of. Old gardeners, old-fashioned gardeners, old-style gardeners, cottage gardeners, you mix things up. You plant a little group of this and you repeat it several times. You put something else in between it and repeat those. And just mix stuff up instead of in rows. And this works with vegetables and herbs also. If you plant things in long rows, every other row is separated by what's called a furrow. You got a hill and a furrow and a hill and a furrow. The row in the low area. Well, if you eliminate every other furrow and make the rows double wide, and plant 2 rows of something down 1 wide row, then you give 50% more production in the same space. So instead of planting stuff in rows, scatter them, little groups here and there, or wide raised bed. Second thing is, most gardeners don't accessorize. This is not if
I've learned that from you in a big way.
You put a wagon wheel out there, mm-hmm. you can get away with murder. A bird bath, an urn, pink flamingo, bottle trees, an old piece of driftwood, a log, anything out there that's an accent. Flowers come and go around that, and it creates a theme, but it also ties all the seasons together.
Yeah.
So a little accessory. That's one of the most overlooked things, and partly because people think they're going to talk about you.
They're going to do that anyway.
Hey, Martha Stewart quoted me as saying that, don't you?
What?
Doesn't matter what you do or how you do it, your neighbor's going to talk about you anyway. And I heard that from Lala Perry over in Philadelphia a long time ago. People are going to talk about you anyway. Hold your head up and go on.
There you go.
And anyway, we're going to take a quick break. I love this T-shirt. I don't wear T-shirts, but my scarecrow is going to be a proud supporter of MPB. My scarecrow is a proud neighbor of MPB, and we appreciate everything y'all do to support us. We're going to come back with more of the Gestalt Gardener right after this. By the way, if you want to, check out Mississippi Gardening Facebook. It's real gardeners, and we don't tolerate anybody being mean or anything like that. We'll be right back with, just like here at MPB, we're just family. Come on. We'll be right back.
This is MPB Think Radio, and thank you for listening. I'm Angela Crosley-Ferez, Executive Director of the MPB Foundation. Where else could you go where your money would be doubled on the spot, Jermaine?
Mm-hmm. That's here.
Right now, one of our generous members from Meridian will match your gift dollar for dollar. The cool thing is that the community is coming together to support something we all care about, MPB Think Radio. And now my friend and partner in crime, Jermaine Flood, is joining me with information about the doubling effect of dollar for dollar match.
That's right. There is donors from Meridian who are matching your donation dollar for dollar. But I had to say, in response to what Felder said about your neighbor going to talk about you, I wouldn't mind, Angela, if you were my neighbor and you talked about me.
Well, it would all be good, Jermaine. I wouldn't be one of those nosy neighbors.
Yeah,
that criticize.
and you know what? And you, I know, our listener, are not that neighbor. You're going to be the neighbor who supports.
That's
and
right.
we thank you for your support of MPB Think Radio. And we thank you especially during this time, because our mission is simple. We serve Mississippi. Right now, though, we can't do that without a strong, reliable broadcast tower. Right now, one of our most important Delta towers is down, affecting listeners across multiple counties. We're working to repair it, but funding cuts have made that more challenging than ever. Your support helps us close that gap. Won't you be our neighbor who won't talk bad about us? You'll talk good about us, I know it. Today, make a gift in any amount and help us bring this vital signal back to the communities who need it most. Call 1-888-372-4483 to contribute or go online at mpbonline.org.
That's right, Jermaine. And you know, a lot of people may not know this, but Mississippi Public Broadcasting is known across the country for innovation in education.
Wow.
And we are piloting a program called REACH in partnership with the Mississippi Department of Education through funding from the state legislature in Jackson. REACH is a virtual classroom that uses a technology called eGlass.
Okay.
It's a clear chalkboard that helps teachers get ideas across in a creative and concise way. And we've seen it in our own building, Jermaine. It's so cool to see these teachers.
I know it.
Multiple classrooms on the screen and them asking questions. It's just so cool.
It's like magic.
It is. And the best part is we can scale it up so thousands of students will have access to this high-level learning model. So see, your dollars not only help MPB Think Radio, but you also fund groundbreaking innovation in education. And that is just so important, especially right now. So please do your part.
And now, Angela, I've got another benefit for them. With their MPB membership, they can now be connected to an on-demand library of PBS and local MPB programs through PBS Passport. If you become a sustainer at $5 a month or more, you'll get that access to thousands of hours of those on-demand programs from Masterpiece, Ken Burns, and of course, MPB, that's Mississippi Public Broadcasting. It's programming when you want it, where you want it. You can check out past episodes of Mississippi Outdoors, Mississippi Roads, and MPB classic documentaries from the 1980s, all about B.B. King. I mean, who doesn't love a good Mississippi story?
Exactly.
And you'll automatically receive MPB Passport for free as a member in good standing at $5 a month or more. My mom has it. We love it. If you're not already a member, call now and we'll sign you up at 888-372-4483 or make a contribution at mpbonline.org.
That's right, Jermaine. Passport is the best.
Yes.
You know, MPB has always been here for Mississippi, sharing stories, delivering trusted news, and connecting our communities. Now we need you. Today, or a few days ago, we learned that we had suffered a catastrophic tower failure in Greenwood that has disrupted our signal and taken us off the air. We have crews dispatched to the area, and they're working as quickly as possible to restore the service to that area, and it's going to take at least $50,000 to make the necessary repairs. $50,000. You can't just phone a number and order a part for a tower.
You're right.
So your support right now truly makes all the difference. Please consider donating today at mpbonline.org, calling or texting the word GIVE to 888-372-4483.
Those towers are important, and that helps keep us on the air and keep us true to serving the people of Mississippi. And how it can make it easier to get those towers back up and running if you had a membership that took care of itself and helped kept this on-air fundraising to a minimum and those towers right up there to the skies. That's what happens when you renew your MPB membership as a monthly sustainer. Those gifts mean that you give $5, $10, or $20 a month, and that that membership never expires. You never have to worry about it. The more people sign up as sustainers, that's the less often we'll go on air to remind you to renew your support. Please renew your MPB Think Radio membership support right now and do it as a monthly sustainer. 3 minutes is all it takes at mpbonline.org or at 888-372-4483.
That's right, Jermaine. 3 minutes. Consider contributing to MPB Think Radio's spring fundraiser online at mpbonline.org. And while you're at it, leave us a comment. We'll try to read them on the air, Jermaine, right?
I'm ready.
Sarah from Norfolk is a supporter, and she wrote, "Love Felder Rushing. Can't do without him."
Of course, that's the time.
That's right. And Brenda from Hattiesburg said, "My late husband, the writer Donald Williamson, introduced me to MPB." So call us and leave your comment or leave it online, and we'll try to get those read. Make your gift, too, at 888-372-4483 or give online at mpbonline.org. And please remember, leave a comment, and Jermaine's going to try to read it on air for you.
I'll do the next one. And you know what? That was a great comment because that makes us an heirloom station, something somebody passes down from one person to the next. That's really good. And as a listener-supported public service, MPB can only continue to serve the people of Mississippi when it's supported by those who rely on it. A number of people are giving $100 to help us close out the campaign successfully. If that sounds like you, and I know it does, please help and we'll count you as a supporter and as part of our neighborhood. 888-372-4483. You can also text the word GIVE to that same number, 888-372-4483, or do your part at mpbonline.org. And Angela and I say thanks.
Thank you.
Alrighty, folks, welcome back. Horticulturalist Felder Rushing. Java, this T-shirt's kind of it's weird. I feel like I'm a caricature these days, but it's fun.
Yeah, no, it's it's playful, and who doesn't like a Muppet? Even though it's not a
the
gym
weed guy. The weed guy.
I mean, you are.
Well, starting in a couple of weeks, some of the roses are starting to bloom. Last week after we got off the air, I had Dr. Eddie Smith, who's the host of the Southern Gardener with the Mississippi State. He came up and visited at this Greenwood Cemetery. Downtown Jackson is a cemetery called Greenwood Cemetery, 1 block north of the Capitol. You can see the Capitol from it. The wisteria entrance is just knocked out, but the roses are starting to bloom. The daffodils are blooming. Anyway, he came down and we had a pretty good. But he went by my garden afterwards, and he was speechless. Because Eddie, I've known Eddie a long time. He's a really good horticulturist. He's also a real good gardener, but he hybridized the daylilies.
So he's in it a little more day to day.
Yeah. He had more attention to detail, more pride and workmanship. I just throw stuff out there. I mean, I look like I was raised by older women, and I garden like that. We don't want to try. We too tired to try stuff. We just go stick with what we like. And I grow vegetables and flowers and herbs all together, big containers in flower beds. And we call it edimental gardening, when you plant things that are pretty to look at and you can eat them. And rose petals are edible, but not many people can do that. But, I like to mix basil in with my flowers. I like to have oregano hanging out of my containers because it's a pretty plant. And anyway, it's one of those concepts called edimental, where you mix stuff together. We used to call it kitchen garden, but it's not just a kitchen. It'd be like this container I've got here with the red, white, and blue. I've got red salvias. I've got blue salvias. I've got blue angelonia. I've got the fan flower, the white dusty miller, and it's just pretty. But last week I had a pot of herbs I brought in, with the basil and the oregano and the thyme and the chives and just all mixed together, and it looks good. But I also put some sticks in it because I spray paint the sticks green because I like to accessorize. But you can mix stuff together, As long as you got something spiky, something roundy, something frilly, and maybe something cascading, and it looks like you know what you're doing.
That's why when I asked that question, I think it was last week, what's the difference between a bouquet and an arrangement?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, you arrange flowers into a bouquet.
There you go.
Yeah, and if you carry it in your hand, it's a tussy-mussy.
And when you said the phrase kitchen gardening, I had
that's what y'all got going.
Yeah, but I saw they sell, and I don't know if you've seen it, they sell these type of things where it kind of sits on your kitchen counter.
Yeah.
And it's like basil and oregano and stuff like that where you can, and they sell them in like little pods.
Yeah.
It just made me think about it when you said kitchen gardening.
Yeah, put them out on the patio table. They like sunshine. But anyway, the whole idea, whether you're a flower gardener, whether you like your roses or vines, we're seeing so many vines blooming right now. The yellow Carolina jessamine, the thumb size cross vine. We've got the native coral honeysuckle, which is just being devoured by hummingbirds, which we've got all through the state now. And in a couple of weeks we're going to have the Peggy Martin rose is going to be in bloom. They're just starting to bloom right now, but Peggy Martin is a real popular climbing rose. If you're anywhere near Jackson sometime, if you swing by the Agriculture Museum, right at where Lakeland Drive, Highway 25, dead ends into Interstate 55, Agriculture Museum. We got a little herb garden that we started a long time ago, back in the 80s, and master gardeners take care of. But it's got a whole lot of different kind of herbs and vegetables and antique flowers and vines and stuff. And just swing by there to get an idea of how people gardened 100 years ago. And like Jason Powell, the owner of Petals from the Past, says, they're not old-fashioned plants. They're contemporary plants. They work really well now because they survived back before people had hoses. That means they don't need a lot of water. See, so a lot of these antique plants are not old-fashioned. They're contemporary. So the idea is mix them all up and then accessorize.
And just last week, you gave a talk at the Ag Museum. How was it?
We had a real good turnout. I talked about the importance of using native plants. As a matter of fact, I gave a talk to a garden study group in Louisiana yesterday. And it's not using native plants as native plants and not using them as pollinator plants. You use them because they're good garden plants with lagniappe. You use some native flowers, they're naturally going to attract the pollinators. See, so instead of what was it I said? I said clutching their pearls. No, I didn't say that. I said it's not virtue signaling to plant native plants for pollinators. It's just good gardening. And they work fine. So anyway, one of the things I'm encouraging people to do if they're new gardeners or if they got children or if you just don't have a lot of mobility, to get you a big pot and mix stuff together that's pretty to look at and you can cook with it. There's nothing like sending a kid out and say, we're making spaghetti, go grab me some oregano. And they'll know what it is, and they have ownership in the meals. Or go get me some basil. We're making a pizza. So it's not enough to change the world. Sort of like making sun tea. Java, have you ever made sun tea?
Well, you sit it out on the porch.
Yeah, you put some tea bags and some water in a clear jug and put it out on the porch. Have you ever done that?
No, I have never done that.
Every time I show a picture of that in my talk, I said, is it any good? And everybody said, oh, yeah, it's good. And I'm thinking, no, it's not. It's highly variable.
It depends.
Yeah, how many tea bags you put, how long you leave it out there. You put some mint, shove enough sugar in it, it's going to taste good. But the reason people have this idea that sun tea tastes good is because they had ownership. They did it. It's something that they did special. It makes them feel special, and therefore it is special. So whether it's a little pot full of herbs and flowers or some sun tea or putting out a bird feeder, you're not saving the world with a bird feeder, but you're participating.
Well, one of the special things and participation here at MPB on the Gestalt Gardener is we answer people's gardening questions.
Oh, yeah, which we'll be doing live next week.
Yeah, but I have an email from a gardening question. I mean, it kind of feels counterproductive, like we have an entire show, and we've gone this entire show, and we've answered one listener question.
No, we've been throwing stuff out for food for thought, but have you got one?
I got one.
Okay.
And it's
only reason we're here. Bring it on.
And it's a pretty good one. And this is Gina, and she says, hi, Felder. do you have any resources for purchasing old-fashioned azaleas, not Encore, in bulk? She says she needs quite a few for a
Hmm.
project in her new yard, which was formerly a logging deck. Gina has a lot going on. She says the garden center and co-op only sell them in huge containers. And she lives in the Clark County area, was hoping to find some full-size ones in small containers. She's looking for a lot. I'm looking for to find 15 or more.
Oh, it is possible. A lot of these smaller garden centers, the chain stuff, the chain stores, they're going to carry whatever they custom order them. Small mom and pop type garden centers, if she wants to send me an email, I can put her in touch with a few, but they'll carry them. Also, there's, they're available. The plants are available, but people want instant gratification.
That's what I was about to say.
The bigger stuff.
The question is kind of leading to a bigger what you're talking about, a bigger type of conversation.
Yeah. Well, let me throw this out, and this is a little counterintuitive because it's not answered the question. That they are available. I don't know right off the top of my head where because it's a big state. But also putting a lot of azaleas out there is putting all your eggs in about a 3-week basket. And we're here all year. I would think about putting a group of azaleas here and a group there and a group someplace else and put you some spirea in with it. Put you some little dwarf nandinas for winter foliage and berries. Put an oak leaf hydrangea for flowers a little bit later. In other words, use the azaleas as rhythm and repetition. And when they bloom, they'll look good, but have something else out there because we're there all year. And having all your azaleas bloom at one time and then a bunch of green meatballs the rest of the year, And if nothing else, put you a nice little sculpture, piece of driftwood, a little bottle. You can make a bottle tree with just green bottles. And it doesn't look like a bottle tree, but it shines like a gem. So I would mix stuff up. The plants you like the best, put them in groups and repeat those groups so that when they do their thing, it's really showy, but have something in between and behind and in front of to carry your season a little bit longer. I didn't really answer her question, but I hope to give her food for thought.
And I think that's, the ultimate, I don't want to say reason, but I guess goal of the show. Is to make you think about your garden. Anyway,
don't know where you can get that many, but I might be able to put you in touch with some. But anyway, shoot us an email. Well, you have her email, so I know how to get back in touch with her. Okay. Horticulturalist Felder Rushing, me and Java Chapman had a lot of fun. Didn't do a lot of gardening stuff today, but had a lot of fun.
That's true. And happy spring, everybody.
Happy spring. That's right. It's going to be great. And Easter's coming up in a couple of weeks. That's when you plant your tomatoes. Right now, lettuce and cabbage and English peas. If you got to scratch that itch, scratch it in the right place at the right time. And there, I said it. We're going to be back same time, same place, live with gardening information next week right here on Mississippi Public Broadcasting. I so deeply appreciate all the folks who help support us. We'll be back next week.
Hello, you're listening to MPB Think Radio. I'm Angela Crosley-Ferez, Executive Director of the MPB Foundation. And, maybe you missed a matching period earlier in the drive. Well, Jermaine, they're lucky because people are listening at just the right moment now.
Okay.
Because there's a dollar-for-dollar match happening right now.
That's right.
Thanks to one of our generous couples in Meridian, Mississippi.
That's right. Right now, you can get your dollar matched because of that couple, and we want to say thank y'all.
That's right. Thank you.
For sure. And then, of course, it's during Felder's Gestalt Gardener. And what could be any better than getting your dollar matched? Dollar for dollar right here on MPB Think Radio. And right now, parts of the Mississippi Delta are without Gestalt Gardener because they are without a radio signal. Our Greenwood Tower, WMAO, suffered major damage and is off the air. And that means communities across the state in Coahoma, Bolivar, Sunflower, flower counties are beyond missing trusted news and emergency alerts, and that just will not do. When storms hit, that signal can be life-saving. Federal and state funding cuts mean we're relying more on you than ever. Make a gift in any amount to help restore and maintain the towers that keep Mississippi informed and safe. Your support helps keep us on air. 888-372-4483 to contribute, or go online at mpbonline.org.
That's right, Jermaine. And I want to ask all of you to do something. Think about the tone you hear on MPB Think Radio. The host and the experts you hear engage in courteous conversations. They provide reliable information, and they often do it with a sense of humor.
That's right.
The tone is always respectful because we live and believe in the golden rule. Your contribution supports more than MPB programs. It also supports the values that we hold dear. Keep listening and keep participating in civil dialogue. It's up to you to keep this going. So make a contribution right now.
That's right. You know, when you were a kid, Angela, remember how much love you had for the state of Mississippi? So much so that we had a song and went, M-I, crooked letter, I, you know?
That's right.
And that's how much love we have for this place we call home, a place we do business, and a place where we work together to make life better for our children, who we pass that song on to. And to that end, thousands of people can chip in to help MPB deliver educational programming and classroom materials to communities across the state to help send that education forward. They and we do it for the love of M-I, crooked letter, I. And every contribution sets our children up for success by keeping them engaged and focused on academic excellence. If you have the capacity to give $1,000 or more, you'll put us ahead by almost 10 average-sized gifts, and everybody will be able to spell after that. 1-888-372-GIVE. That's 1-888-372-GIVE, or online at mpbonline.org.
That's right, Jermaine. I'm born and reared in Mississippi, and I could not be prouder of that fact. But right now, Mississippi Public Broadcasting is facing an unexpected challenge. A catastrophic failure at the broadcast tower in Greenwood has taken us off the air in that part of the state. And I was reading some things about it, Jermaine, yesterday, and that tower is 1,059 feet in the air.
I told you it was up to the sky.
I know. So you can't just jump on Amazon or eBay and order a part. This takes specialized parts. They're expensive. And the people who take those risks to repair it are pretty expensive as well. But they are working to quickly restore service, but we need your help. Our goal is to raise $50,000 to cover these repairs and get MPB back on the air and into the communities who rely on us every day. So if MPB matters to you, please consider making a gift today. Visit mpbonline.org and help us get back on the air, or call 888-372-4483.
That's right. A donation in any amount makes a big difference right now. How about $100 in the final hours of the spring campaign? It only takes 3 minutes of your time at mpbonline.org and at 888-372-4483. And thank you.